give you an example of the consistency that truth demands. Consistency that uncompromising truth demands. That if one submits themselves to truth, that one will willingly give themselves to the truth that exists. But for the most part, people don't submit to truth. Not the truth. They'll give in to their subjective truth, their belief, their thoughts, feelings, but the truth. The application of truth across all situations, all realms, from the most minute to the greatest. From the micro to the macro. Subjective truth, objective truth, non-objective truth. Subjective truth is the subject's perception of things, even their ability to perceive things, their ability constrained within the construct of them as an object. Objective truth being the truth of the makeup, construct, and existence of that which exists within some realm. The non-objective truth being that which the object isn't. For if an object is something, if an object has the qualities of something in truth, then the truth is that it is not something else. And that's how we get to the full truth. The subjective truth, the objective truth, and the non-objective truth. There's an issue that came up recently about spousal abuse, about domestic violence, specifically speaking, men on women, and that's generally what is held, even though there are instances where women beat men, who intimidate men, the men in their lives. It is rare. It is rarely spoke of. Well, at least it's rarely spoke of. I don't know how rare it is, but it occurs. But it's rarely spoke of because the man is deemed to be the most, the stronger of the genders. In terms of comes in physical strength. So in those terms, generally it was, it's always those take the side of a man should never hit a woman. Because a man is stronger than a woman, no matter what. And yet, when people say that there's never an instance, a situation where a man should hit a woman, I question in truth if they are actually being honest. Because does there really truly exist no situation at all? No situation at all. No instance, no occurrence at all within the realm of your imagination, within the realm of that which can occur where a man should strike a woman. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. So if we look at the issue of domestic violence, if we try to break it down in truth, in uncompromising truth, if we try to take away one's feelings, one's subjective feelings about it, one's subjective about it, and we look at it within the object and the non-objective, what are we talking about? We're talking about the physical imposing of one upon another. That is domestic abuse. You have one imposing their physical will upon another, and yet in doing that, is it one that has the more power? For if there's a man who readily sought to beat his wife or his girlfriend, and yet he always failed in that she always ended up kicking his ass, would that be domestic abuse. I mean, literally, if he would say, "Where's my dinner?" and he would hit her, and then she would proceed to kick his ass and choke him out, is he an abuser? If she is able to protect himself, to actually impose her physical will upon him, is that domestic abuse? And if we look at it in the realms of the imposition, the imposing of one upon the other, then what is the full extent of abuse? Domestic violence, violence deals with physical and emotional abuse, it is held. And what is emotional abuse? It is one imposing their will upon another by way of demeaning them, by way of injecting fear into them. Yet let's keep expanding upon that. It is one imposing their will upon the other. It is one imposing their will, one taking the position of dominance upon another. But we look at the physical abuse in the sense of being physical. I'm beating down, I'm imposing a will, but we know the will projects itself in more than just physical. Is it physical, is it mental, is it intellectual, is it emotional? So once again, is it just the act of dominance? For if it is the act of dominance, then what do you call when a parent tells their child what they're going to do? When a parent imposes their will upon a child and says, you will do this, you will be a Christian, you will go to church, you will serve this God. It's not imposing a will upon another. They're opposing their spiritual will, their thoughts, their beliefs. They are imposing the fact that they are in a position of authority upon one who is in a lesser position, one who is in a weaker position. A developing child is of weaker mind, in a weaker awareness of self, in a weaker position of grasping of truth, and that parent is beating them down. Is that not abuse? It is an opposing of will. Once you define what abuse is and violence is, and once again, the violence, it is just more than the physical violence. There is that emotional, psychological violence. If I am telling you what you will be, what you should do, what you will think, I am imposing myself upon you. Is that not violent? Once again, if one willfully gives himself, submits to truth, uncompromising truth, one sees the way, the path to salvation. And it is having a blind eye, it is having a closed mind, it is having a hardened heart to the will of God that brings upon the demise of humanity, that brings upon the death of man. Yet maybe I'm only trying to abuse you.